Dear students, good morning to you everyone. How are you? I hope you will be fine. Today I am going to teach you the story The 100 Dresses Part 1, in which the main characters are Wanda Petronsky. Wanda Petronsky is a Polish-American girl who had come from Poland and settled in Chicago. She had been admitted in American school. She used to live at Bogans Heights in Chicago. Second character is Peggy. She was intelligent and the most beautiful girl in her class. She is not simply intelligent, rather she is very clever one who used to teach Wanda Petronsky times without number. Madeline, called Maddie. She was the closest friend of Peggy, and she used to be along with Peggy all the times inside the classroom and even outside of the classroom inside the school campus. Miss Mason, class teacher of Wanda Petronsky, who is very sensitive one and wants to gauge each and every children very psychologically. Now, the story, The 100 Dresses, is a very sensitive story. Before it has been written here, how do we judge the people around us? By their money, wealth, and possessions. This question has been raised by the writer E.L. Basar Estate regarding evaluation of a person, whether we evaluate a person on the basis of money, on the basis of wealth, and the belongings belong to that very person, or is there something of more enduring value to look for in a person? Here, enduring value means intrinsic value, the hidden value, the hidden talent, the immortal value, which is recalled by the forthcoming generation even after departure of that very intelligent person. This story is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Just I have told you, this is a sensitive story in which we have to study how a poor girl, a poor student has been treated inside her classroom by her classmates. Wanda Petronsky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. Just after coming from Poland, when Wanda Petronsky started living at Bogans Heights in Chicago along with her parents, she was admitted in American school in America. These other children see Wanda as different in many ways, as she had come from Poland. She was not looking similar to the American students, American girls or boys. So she was being considered as different one in many ways by the students inside the school campus. Now, the Polish American community in the United States. This illustrates, this depicts how the inhabitants of Poland had migrated to United States of America in 1608 and in a major in the beginning of 20th century. So just after migrating from Poland, they had settled in Chicago, and Chicago is known as the most important place for those people who had come from Poland. And in this way, in America, the people of Poland were discriminated on the basis of their ethnic values. Now, we have to study how was Wanda Petransky considered in her class inside school campus. Its description of today, Monday. There is description of Monday. Wanda Petransky was not in her seat. On Monday, Wanda Petransky was not present inside school campus, and hence she was not present in her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. In the beginning, Peggy had started making fun of Wanda Petransky, but when Wanda was not seen on Monday, even Peggy did not notice her absence. Even Madeline had not noticed her absence. Usually Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room. In real sense, Wanda Petransky was accustomed to be backbencher and used to sit in the next seat of the last bench of room number 13. She sat in corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. Naturally, it's known to everyone that dull students are accustomed to sit in backward position inside the classroom or the benches. But Wanda Petransky was not sure, but still she was accustomed to sit on the last bench, as she used to keep herself in silent mode, keeping herself far away from the group of girls, and was willing to keep herself under the phase of isolation. She was not willing to interfere with anyone. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet, basically the dull students or the students who used to create nuisance by scuffling their feet on the ground, used to sit at the back portion of the class. Most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. They used to laugh, creating loud sounds just after listening funny words, and besides that, they used to make the floor dirty just after having mud over their feet. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. It was not the reason that Wanda was rough and noisy and used to sit there. Rather, she used to sit there in order to isolate herself from the group of girls. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. She was not talkative by nature, rather she was very silent and moody girl. When she was willing to speak, she used to speak. When she was willing to smile, she used to smile in crooked face. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. As Wanda Petronsky was a girl of shy nature, so she had not been seen laughing loudly by other students. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. Whenever she used to be happy, she used to smile just after crooking her mouth and nothing else. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, and it was not known to anyone why Wanda was accustomed to sit at the last bench in the classroom, unless it was because she came all the way from Boggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. The students of her classroom were simply knowing that she used to come from Boggins Heights, and when she used to enter inside the classroom, a cake of mud was seen over her feet. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky. Once she sat in the corner of the room, but when she used to sit in the corner of that very room, no one used to think regarding her. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours. At noontime, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began. Wanda Petronsky was teased by Peggy and Maddie before coming inside school campus or after dispersal from the school at the gate of the main school. When groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to schoolyard. And before that one, the students like Peggy, like Maddie, used to talk regarding Wanda Petronsky in the schoolyard and used to laugh themselves just after having conversation regarding Wanda Petronsky. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. Not only this, in absence of Wanda Petronsky, they used to laugh just after considering the figure, considering the image, considering the way of the style of Wanda Petronsky, and they used to wait for the arrival of Wanda Petronsky. The next day, Tuesday, Monday was over, and the next day was Tuesday. Wanda was not in school either. Even on Tuesday, Wanda did not come back to school, and nobody noticed her absence again. And in a similar way, Wanda Petronsky was not noticed by anyone regarding her absenteeism, even on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who did not drag in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda was not there. Especially on Tuesday, absenteeism of Wanda Petronsky was noticed by some intelligent students who used to come inside school campus in a neat and clean dress, keeping themselves modern one. Peggy was the most popular girl in school, and basically the writer here is remarking towards Peggy, who used to be considered as very pretty girl inside school campus. Not only this, she was considered as the most intelligent girl inside the classroom. She was pretty. It is being said regarding Peggy, she had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. In real sense, Peggy was the most intelligent student of that very class and which Wanda used to study. Peggy was having more dresses and all the dresses were very beautiful. Not only this, Peggy was known for her own beauty, having curly hair. She had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. And Maddie was considered as the best friend of Peggy. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. In real sense, Peggy and Maddie used to wait outside from the school campus to make fun with Wanda Petronsky at the period of arrival, and due to that one, they used to be late inside the school campus. They had waited for Wanda. Before coming inside the school campus, they used to wait for Wanda Petronsky, and in the similar way, they had waited on Wednesday also for the arrival of Wanda Petronsky to have some fun with her, and she just had not come. And the main point to wait for Wanda Petronsky was to make fun with her, but on that very day also she did not come to school. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her, and the only aim to wait for Wanda Petronsky was nothing but to make fun with her. In this way, this paragraph is over, and I think you will be in position to do oral questions based on it. The next paragraph will be taught later in the second class. Thank you very much. Go through it very deeply, try to understand the text and do the oral questions based on it. Thank you.